Hey everyone, welcome back to another Bookmap tutorial. I'm your host, Kevin with Bullish Bears, and in today's video we're going to be covering the time slices. What this does is it helps us to see on our chart visually the past 10 seconds all the way up to the past 60 minutes. And this really helps us as day traders and even as scalpers to find those levels we might be missing on a lower time frame. So let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the lower time frame intervals, which is the time slices. Right now we're looking at the 3-minute, which is great if we're scalping, but we do have to know and be aware of the higher time frame, because what we see coming up over here is a potential breakout with a little bit of buying pressure that ends up failing almost immediately. So we're going to get to that right now, and I'll show you exactly what we're looking for. We see we're trying to dip, sellers keep failing, buyers try one more time to bring us higher, and almost immediately after we take this breakout of this 1934 to 1938, we end up hitting a strong wall and rejecting immediately. Now, a lot of people could say, well, why did Bookmap mislead me? Why didn't I see this coming? What can I do? Well, something as simple as this would just require us to look at a higher time frame. So what we see on the 3-minute, we're going to see a lot more on even just the 10 or 15-minute. On the 15-minute, I see that buyers tried stepping in here and failed. I see again we've been creating these lower highs since about 9:34 in the market when buyers got trapped at the highs around 19,960. So instead of trying to go long on every breakout, even over here we ended up failing. I'm going to look for shorts once we hit a potential breakout and fail. So once we hit this failure right here around 9:36, I'd potentially look for some short positions with my stop right above that, and I could then look at the time slices one more time and say look at the 30-minute and get an idea of where potential price levels might be. So I see right here was a pretty strong level in the morning around 9:32, even around 9:30. This 19909 was a very strong level. So because we rejected these highs, I'm going to look to see if price wants to draw back down to this 1909. I also see a very strong level at these lows around that 19900 level, right? And even another one around 19893. So because I see all of these potential levels, and yes, there are potential levels to the upside too to be aware of, but short term, we have been creating these lower highs after rejecting and leaving buyers in the past, so I'm going to look to see if that trend does want to continue. So we're going to fast forward it a little bit. We're going to see strong sellers on the higher time frame, which is a lot more important than sellers on a lower time frame. We see the strong selling bubble, the continuation, so we would be looking for shorts to continue to those levels that we mentioned just before. And of course, guys, same goes for the upside. Once we do start making our way back higher, we could look at previous areas of fluctuation, previous areas on the heat map that may determine a strong level of support, resistance, or even just liquidity that the market might draw to. So even seeing this 19,922 was a pretty strong level. We see over here it acted as support till we broke it, then it was resistance. Now we're back above it, and it is yet again acting as a level of support. So we're able to use these different clues in the context that the market gives us, that Bookmap also gives us the advantage of looking at, to help us really take solid trade plans. And again, we're using Bookmap when we're having our predetermined trade plan, when we have our pre-market plan set up. So Bookmap is just the tool to help guide us and tell us if we're correct or incorrect on our thesis.